Well, hello and welcome back to video number 2. And today's topic I wanted to touch on was finding balance and really defining balance as perhaps a working mum from home, a part-time mum, or just in general if you're a stay-at-home mum. Because I know when I talk to so many ladies, the first thing they say to me is, how do you do it all? How do you balance life? How do you, or perhaps you've been to a friend's home and everything's just perfect. Perhaps maybe you're looking for that secret sauce on how to just balance everything. I mean, those days where you just look around the house or you look at, perhaps there's an argument going on between your children or something, you just think, why can't everything be perfect? Why can't I balance it? Why can't I be like other mothers? Well, I'm going to be really truthful with you now. Really truthful. See, I believe balance is a myth. Ladies, there is no such definition of being balanced. I don't believe as a mother, perhaps a working mum, or even a stay-at-home mum, that you can be balanced. Balance is a myth. It's ultimately how you and your situation, how you define balance. Balance is very personal. Balance is something that the way I see my family or the way that I work in my schedule and everything, it's the way I can balance it. But today, what I wanted to give you is 3 tips on how I use balance to now feel calm, to be at peace with perhaps maybe things aren't going the way they're supposed to be, and to let you know that first and foremost, if you're trying to be that perfect mum, you're trying to have and run a perfect business, or perhaps just be perfect in general, stop. Because there is no secret to being balanced. There is no set way. And I'm telling you now that balance is a myth. So my first tip for you ladies is to set boundaries. And this is really hard, especially for women, to say no. And for me personally, it took me a long time to be able to feel comfortable to say to people, no, I can't do that. Or even to my children, no, unfortunately, I can't do that for you. It is really hard. And for some reason, men don't have a problem in saying no, but females, I guess with the nurturing side or even our mindset that's been trained over years and years, is that saying no is a really hard thing to do. So my tip to you is to set boundaries. And if things don't serve you throughout the day, if it's going to stress you out, if it's going to cause you to be completely off schedule, it's going to cause more stress and more harm to your own health, then say no. Say no. Honestly, I really am very passionate about this. So for example, if you don't like volunteering at school, and for me personally, I didn't get enjoyment out of volunteering at school for the children. Look, sure, I love to be there and to be there when they want me to be there, but to put my hand up, to be on canteen every week and to volunteer, I just wasn't passionate about it. And to tell you the truth, I had other things in my life that needed to be a priority. So if you're feeling guilty for not being a part of the school volunteering and being on the canteen or doing what you need to do, I want you to stop it now. If it means saying no to catching up with a girlfriend because you've got other things that need to be done, then that is okay. If it means saying no to a family member because you can't catch up with them now, that's okay. Remember, you've got to set these boundaries, because if you don't, you will start to get fatigued and you will start to feel the emotion of everything's coming down on top of you. Honestly, ladies, saying no is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Set boundaries. Define on your particular day, what is it that you need to get accomplished? What is it that you need to do? And sometimes, look, for example, I'm a working mum and sometimes I can't be there at the school for my children, or perhaps some days I can't pick them up, or perhaps I've had to have people collect my children because I'm working. I've had to say no because I've got other priorities, because let's just face it, if we do say yes, how are we going to feel when we're there? Are we going to feel stressed? Are we going to feel exhausted? Are we going to have our mind not on those children or on that particular task? Are we going to be thinking about what we should have done? Yep. And ultimately, you're not serving anyone. So first and foremost, I want you to set boundaries. Set boundaries that work for you. Secondly, I want you to really, really learn about setting the right boundaries. But secondly, I want you to be present when you need to be present in those important times. And this is a very new concept, but something that really is just so paramount. So perhaps maybe if you've got children and you're trying to juggle a business and you're working from home and you're trying to do a billion things and you're trying to take those calls or send that email and you've got someone talking to you and you've got washing on the line and you need to cook dinner, you need to schedule and you need to set boundaries. Perhaps maybe you need to schedule once a week a special time with one of your children. Perhaps maybe you need to schedule a time, and when you do schedule that time and you are with that little one, or you are with it if you've got a teenager, put everything aside and give your all. It's not about quantity, ladies. It's about quality. It's about putting the phone down. It's about embracing and talking to that person and giving your all. Not your half, not half on the telephone, half on what you're supposed to be doing. Give your all to that person. Put everything else aside. Schedule it in and going, you know what? Half an hour or even, an hour after dinner. Perhaps you've got a lot of work to do at night time. Put that aside and go, you know what? I'm going to give my family one whole hour of me. Not other stuff, not half, not a quarter, but your all. Give your all to that particular person at that particular time. Perhaps maybe you can only do that once a day or maybe once a week for that particular person or that particular situation. But when you do, you're giving it all. And I'm telling you that, and I do this, and I'll give you an example. I do this with my son once a week, and he's getting older now. I schedule in a time for him and me. Perhaps maybe we'll walk the dog together. Perhaps maybe we'll go and have a coffee together. But I put aside my phone. I put aside everything else. I put aside perhaps maybe things, I've got deadlines and priorities. They can wait. My head is solely concentrated on that little boy. And you know what? Those quality times mean way more than anything else on this earth. So schedule your time, ladies. Then, thirdly, I'm going to talk about scheduling in and setting boundaries on practice self-care. Ladies, this is a hard one, and I understand that perhaps you're thinking now and go, but there isn't a time in the day, or I don't have the time. I honestly and truly, there is no second of the day. I am so incredibly busy. Well, I am here to tell you right now that there is time. There is time for you to nurture your body, whether that's sitting and reading a book for 10 minutes, whether that's doing some exercise in the open, beautiful open air outside, or it's having a cup of coffee in peace. But you've got to set boundaries. You've got to say no to other things and remember that this is your time. Remember your mindset, your mental health, your physical health is just as important as feeding your family, as putting food on the table, as making sure your family have clean clothes. Your health is just as important as anything else. So remember, it may feel selfish in the beginning, but being balanced, getting it together in whatever that feels like to you, you need to practice self-care. So take the time, scheduling that time. Take the time to look and care for nurture for you. And I'm not saying that, perhaps maybe you don't need an hour or two, 10 minutes. But it will give you a boost of energy. It will make you feel so much better mentally and physically. And that way, when you do have those moments where you need to be present, you need to be in your business and you need to be at your best, you've had that time to in tune and to reinvigorate your body and your mind. So ladies, first and foremost, I wanted to tell you right now, if you're thinking, how do I balance my family? How do some ladies look so incredibly balanced and I look like a wreck? Well, there is no such thing as being that perfectly balanced person. Balance is a myth. It's going to go up and down. I put it as seasons. Sometimes it's going to go really, really smooth and beautiful in your household and everything is just running great. Then perhaps maybe in your personal life or in your business, you will have moments where it feels like the rain's coming down and there's a storm in your family. It's going to go through hard times and it's going to go through low times. But being in tune, recognizing it, using my 3 tips, I can tell you now it helps you to feel as though your definition of balance is working for you. And it's trial and error, ladies. You know, still to this day, there's different things that I do to help me feel more balanced and more in tune, but I recognize it. And I think that's the most important thing that you can do, is recognize that there is no perfect, there is no absolutely miracle pill out there to get you balanced or to compare yourself with anyone else. Find your definition and then fine tune it, and then use my 3 tips today, such as what I just discussed with you, you know, nurturing your body. When you're present, be 100%. It's so important. And say no. Say no to those things that don't serve you, that are only going to put more stress on your body. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.